Hello everyone and welcome back to 4pixels. Coco and Kanetsu are here and we are continuing Pyre. After you overcame the dissidents rather soundly, there is a little time for you to rest as yet. The night beckons and the next rite reveals itself to be a vital one. It is already time, reader. Come see for yourself. The coldness of the season now presents to us another chance. He heads out straight away, and you follow in turn. Indeed, among the remaining stars, you see one with which you are familiar now burns ever brightly. The freedom is laid bare before you. Pursue it.
Yeah, there's like little time in between rights now.
Mm-hmm. Makes me think like the next one is just gonna be one right and then once again. Let's see. So we've got 3, this is gonna be our 4th. And we're going up against the accusers. Alright, that's... Forgot what their triumvirate is. I think it's all humans. And we're at 56%.
So do we have to get it up to 100?
I don't think it has to be at 100 exactly, but I think this affects... Yeah, I think this affects whether it's a peaceful revolution or like a violent one.
Oh.
Here we go again, another opportunity to liberate one of our own. Wilfred suggests that the plan in the Commonwealth has hit a few snags. His agents need all the help they can get over there.
Already.
Already the Nightwing summoned back to Mount Elodio. Picture the rights as a wheel broken free from a black wagon. It is turning uncontrollably until soon shall reach a sudden stop. We should have several chances left for someone to go free, either us or else our adversaries, but not both. What is at stake each time is further complicated now, I must admit, knowing we have so few opportunities remaining. Those whom we sent back into the Commonwealth, should our plan somehow fail, they may look back upon their exile with fondness. So, returning to the Commonwealth is not inherently a mercy, I don't think. Moreover, there are also those among us whom we count on to prevail on the rights. We need them on the Nightwings just as much as we need them in the Commonwealth. We cannot simply grow our numbers here, given the circumstances. And so, who stays? Who goes? These choices affect us all. No pressure there, my kin. Accept all the pressure. Now, I don't know about you, but I shall go and take my leave for now. Let us set forth again at daybreak.
Hey. Ray.
Ray seems to be in a happy mood, though she always seems to be around Jadario, who is listening to her with patience. That's adorable.
Yeah. So I would just look within this does that say sallow?
Yep.
Sallow caps each daybreak for the morning dew to drink, and once in a while I would find maybe a stream to drink from too. Though I'd get very thirsty sometimes too. I tried drinking tree sap once. It wasn't very good. Really, it was very bad, I guess.
She seems to be discussing how, exactly, she managed to survive on the downside all alone for so long. Jadario watches her intensely all the while.
Food? Well, food was harder to find usually because, this is a bit embarrassing, but I never tried to harm a living thing, you know, because it makes me very sad.
Aww.
So cute. But sometimes it is the way of things, I understand, I do. And so I would eat as often as needed to, and tried a lot of different things to see if they were... Most of them weren't, though. But I got by. I learned to get by. I already knew how a little bit because back home where I came from, there I had to get by there too. Here, well, it was harder, but it wasn't that much harder really in a way.
Chidario remains silent for some time as Ray trails off. Then...
Oh my god!
Oh, that's so cute!
Oh, I love you!
She embraces Ray and holds her there gently. Oh. Ray lets out a breath but says nothing either for a while.
Ray, may I ask a question of you? Me? Oh, of course. What question is it?
I actually legitimately got a little teary.
Oh my god! How old are you? Do you know? Oh, I am 19 years old. That is how old I am, I think. Truly. Then, you have seen a lot in not a lot of time. Know that what you have achieved, it is a feat. I have known seasoned soldiers who could not have lived through the experiences you have described. Oh, really? Wow, thank you. Thank you so much.
You have seldom seen Ray look so joyful as this moment. As for Jidario, you could count on one hand the number of times you have seen a smile play across her lips. You leave them to their conversation. 7 minutes in, we're already being murdered. Let me check one thing. What brings you to me this time, my dear reader? Let's just chat with her. Okay. Leave me alone, reader. I'm in no mood to talk at you at this time. She's concerned about something, but you cannot sense what, and she refuses to say. I see little need to keep on blathering about you, as once I did. I should not have let you in. Be gone! My services are yours, but this place is my own. Aww. I think we've unfortunately missed a lot of conversation with her since I kept forgetting that was an option to just chat with her.
I didn't think you could chat with her. I thought it was just to train.
Yeah. God, I'd love to see like an actual map of all this, the entire world, or downside rather. Let's see. You see, Jidario shall gain favor from the scribes if you land here. Sir Gilman shall. Well, okay, yeah. Actually, we should be deciding who do we want to liberate next. I am thinking either Jidario or Wolfred.
It's either gonna be... I think Jidario's probably gonna be the only one available to do it.
That's actually a good point. Is there any way that we can get back into the... No, we can't. Well, let's take this path. We'll probably want to use Jidario either way.
Right.
You make landing upon Mount Aledio, where Wolfred pulls you aside while the others complete the post-flight inspection. He puffs at his pipe before speaking up. Reader, as you know, I now wear the raiments once again. That means that I, myself, may soon be worthy to regain my freedom in the eyes of the 8 scribes. Know, however, that it is not my wish to go just yet. Well, okay. It is true I could be of some benefit to our plan back in the Commonwealth, but I feel my place is here for the time being. Perhaps once the Nightwings are on a surer footing in their path, my time shall come. Those are my feelings on the matter, and I wanted you to know. I shall of course defer to you. Our path is not to contradict the reader's will. Anyway, I trust that all of us, yourself included, shall find our freedom. If not soon, then by when all of this is over. Yeah, I do want to check real quick to see.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so she's definitely Ray. I can't tell. Is
Ray
she
looks
ranked?
pretty close.
Yeah, I think she is. I think she's been worthy in past trial. All right, so the only ones not worthy are Wolfred and Bertrude. It looks.
Jadario's pretty much maxed out at this point.
Yeah. Having completed the post-flight inspection, you and Jadario visit the monument of Golgothinian here in Emperor's Fall.
You scribes are quite predictable. The others were naive to think our opportunities at freedom were in doubt. So, now we have to make the most of every chance, is that not so? I fail to see how that is any different than before.
Soon she has finished paying her respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Golgothinian has shown you favor. You soon shall ascend the mountain, though. There is time now to pursue your vocations. Accept the blessing.
Yay!
Do we have any left? I thought we had maxed this out.
Yeah, I think we did all of them.
What would it say then if we click it? Like...
Huh. Oh.
Alright, yeah, we still had one more. Okay. The book seems to push back against you. You sense of its hidden meaning crumbles under layers of contradictions of missing details, and yet you feel a thorough knowledge of it now. It is more artifact than book. Its power almost solely rests with the reader, who makes time to form a certain meaning from the many passages unwritten. Yet the glimpse of knowledge you approached just then called you back to you to stop and go no further, not to press too forcefully against the outer limits of your understanding. Nevertheless, for what you recognize shall have to be the final time, inspiration comes to you in a flash, whether from the book or from within. Even now, you cannot tell. Righteousness. Finish studying. You look up to see the lone minstrel there. You have not noticed him. He looks at you with his strange eyes, a color not unlike the bindings of the book, and he smiles at you faintly. That's the first, I think that's the first time we've seen his eyes. The moment passes, and he turns to go about his business. He leaves you there. You realize you are clutching the Book of Rights to your chest. You manage to pull away.
Huh.
Alright. Wolfred or Ray. Let's see if we can use Wolfred for the right, so he can get some.
Yeah. And he's pretty useful in them too.
Oh yeah. I think liberating him will definitely make the success percentage go up a lot. En route to the mountaintop, you pass by a monument to Lusclorian, and Wolfred happens to take notice. Orlek, was this somehow your doing? You who cursed the scribes and the stars themselves. I pray for you this time, and if the scribes will for the rites to be ended, then we shall have to work with that. No setback shall be insurmountable. Soon he is finished paying his respects. As you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Lusclorian has shown him favor. You and your fellow exiles gather at the foot of the Scribe's Gate, before an archway carved of stone where stands the Gate Guardian. Greetings to you, Celeste.
I see the exiles of the Nightwings have returned, even as the cycle of the rites begins drawing to a close.
The Nightwings accept this as the will of the scribes. The gate guardian laughs at this softly for some reason.
And you, Tariq, do you accept their will as well?
But the lone minstrel does not answer her.
It is no matter. Now, Nightwings, each of you come forth and state what it is that you seek while crossing scribes.
One by one, the Nightwings declare themselves. You all pass through as before. When Wolfred takes his turn, Celeste stops him.
You. I see you wear the raiments once again. Explain.
The cycle of the rites is ending. While I do not know why, exactly why, I have my fears. One of my contemporaries, he who fell from the summit long ago, he lives and seeks his liberty again. He stands against us now and believes his triumvirate to be the true Nightwings.
I remember well the contemporary whom you mean. Then the Nightwings stand divided.
Yes, and so I wear the raiments once again, in case that it may help to right this wrong. For I am Wolfred Sandalwood, and I seek liberty for each of us, so that one day we all might stand shoulder to shoulder on the other side, and bring our freedom to the people there. She considers Wolfred's words for a moment.
I see. Then move along.
The guardian of Scribes' Gates regards you all, and then she beckons you onward.
The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory.
Celeste.
What is it, Tariq?
The will of the scribes. Long have we both followed it. I think you would agree. In equal measure, it has drawn us close as separated us. But if the aim now is to keep us apart, for another age or longer, then no, I do not accept their will.
How do you pronounce that? Blasphemy?
I don't know, blaspheme? That's what I would think.
You blaspheme, Tariq. And at the gate, no less.
But the lone minstrel simply puts his hat back on. Then may the scribes themselves admonish me. Until tomorrow night, Celeste.
In we go.
Having reached the peak of Mount Elodio again, you see the vastness of the downside all around you. It leaves you deep in thought regarding which of your companions ought to go free this night, as Ruki did last time. Wilfred looks up at you as you approach and smiles. I never thought that I would say such things, my kin, but it is good to wear the raiments and the rites once more. The march of time does have a way of healing certain hurts. Besides, the Nightwings of today, we are a very different beast than the triumvirate which took me in almost a decade ago. Ours was a triumvirate of exactly 3. Well, 4 with Tiso, who proved to be an exception, though historically the Nightwings never took on more exiles than needed. I have mentioned my predecessor Brighton and my former companions Arisa and Oralek. Perhaps naively, I had hoped my time with them would not be relevant, directly, to what we now attempt. But, seeing as how our stories are now intertwined, do let me know if there is more you wish to learn of them. Okay.
Oh.
Hopefully this is one where we can ask all of them again, but let's assume not.
Let's start with Oralek,
Yeah.
since he seems to be the most important.
The demon who you met, what was he like before? Were he and Wolfred close? You ask about what Oralek was like when he and Wolfred first became acquainted. Wolfred remained silent for some time. I was very, very sick, you know, when I first landed in the downside. The long trip down the river must have been a little much for me. It was Oralek who found me. He could not have known of my capacity to read before he revived me. He was a physician, intolerant of the sight of suffering of any kind. Not just any physician, mind you. A gifted, highly decorated one. He served on the front. Back then, skirmishes erupted frequently, and those such as Oralek, they had to deal with many casualties on either side. In time, he said he grew repulsed by what he saw. This sowed in his heart a yearning for an end to all the bloodshed, so he tried to use his status to negotiate a treaty with the High Wing remnants. It must have gone about how you'd expect. He was giving direct orders to return to the front, but when he refused to soil his hands again, they cast him to the downside. Here he gained the notice of the Nightwings, and before long, he grew to be one of the finest right conductors anyone had ever seen. He was instrumental in the liberation of his companions, whose role in the triumvirates were later filled by Arisa and me. In time, Oralek's own opportunity for freedom had come up. He longed for it, so that, with his exalted status, he might stand a better chance of negotiating peace. However, on the evening of his liberation, well, you know the story from that point. Wilfred breathes a heavy sigh. He and I were kindred spirits for a while. I could not bear to think that he was gone, and now, I still cannot entirely believe that he is back. He's our adversary now, transformed, grown cold. Still, part of me is happy that he lives. Make no mistake, of course, I shall not be swayed against our plan, not by Oralek or anyone. As I have said before, we share a higher calling now. As for Oralek, he wants his freedom. Still, although I wonder if he still remembers why. Anyway, was there something else, my kin? Excellent. And let's go down the line. Thus far you have only heard passing reference to Wilfred's predecessor on the Nightwings. You inquire about Brighton, who you understand was liberated prior to when Wilfred first joined the Nightwings. I never met Brighton in person, but I know him rather well by now, though for that matter, my kin. So do you. Huh? He studies your reaction for a moment, then. Brighton was born wealthy, but not special otherwise. You would have no reason to have heard of him.
What?
He was exiled for negligent misconduct. I do not know why, and do not care for spreading rumors. I first heard of him through Arisa and Oralek, who found in me a suitable replacement following his liberation. They spoke little of him. Oralek gave the impression they did not see eye to eye, but he assured me I soon would hear from him myself. Oh! Indeed, as I became accustomed to the book, which you know well by now, I soon began to hear the voice. This is the one that always, narrates the opening of the rites and all that. Wilfred looks at you, as if to see if you yet take his meaning. You see, my kin, after Brighton's liberation, he assumed a new identity within the Commonwealth, and a new responsibility to the triumvirate which liberated him. That voice you hear from time to time, whensoever the stars align, it's his. He is no longer Brighton. He is none other than the Archjustice Androbolis IX himself.
Wow.
The Grand Judge and figurehead under whose watch the Commonwealth is governed in this day. Liberated exiles retain certain burdens to their old triumvirates. They have much to thank them for, not just their freedom, but their exalted status in the Commonwealth. The theocratic rulers of the Commonwealth. They do not wear masks and raiments simply for the sake of ceremony. They are not who they appear to be. Their public pasts are nothing but a fabrication. Like Brayton, they were once exiles, too. Wow. Brayton. That voice. He has no love for either one of us by now. He knows full well what we attempt to do, yet he is bound by the tradition of the rites. Wait. Okay, so if Brayton is the voice, and he's the Archbishop, one of the rulers of the Commonwealth, then he must have some idea of what's going on in regards to the plan, wasn't he? Or is he only present during the rites?
I want to think he's well, I mean, we've only ever heard... No, we've heard his voice outside the rites, right?
I think
because we had a dream with him in it.
Yeah, I think we did once. He shall always stand on ceremony and complain, but I think he knows deep down that he is powerless. How ironic that one of such high status in the Commonwealth should be so frightened of some long-forgotten exiles such as we. Anyway, that's Brayton for you. He must have seen in you the potential to be one of his staunch supporters for a time. No, actually, yeah, that does make sense, because when we first started using Wolfred, he was like surprised. He was like, I thought we were friends, but now I see you with Wolfred. Like from her girlfriend. So yeah, he seems to only sort of be aware of what's going on when the rites are happening. Anyway, that's Brayton for you. He must have... Yeah, okay. Now then, whom else shall we talk about?
Just that voice you gave him. Now you're with Wolfred, I see.
She betrayed Orlek, causing the Nightwings to fall apart. Why would she do such a thing? You asked about Orisa, who you understand betrayed Orlek at the moment of his liberation, but then perished in the Shimmer Pool. I'm afraid you know the brunt of it, my kin, but I suppose you ought to know something of Orisa's past, lest you be quick to judge her solely by her actions. Mind you, I would never make excuses for the terrible choice she ultimately made, but her life, I understand, was very difficult. Orisa had been exiled for the foulest of acts. You could see it plainly branded on her face. Such was the heinousness of what she did in the eyes of the Commonwealth. She was an apprentice blacksmith in her youth, taking up the post left by her brother. He had fallen in battle on the Blood Border, despite wielding their father's own lance and armor. Her father never quite recovered after this, and had grown cruel and detached. It was Orisa who took the brunt of his fury. He expected the impossible of her. One day, it was all too much for her. So when next he lashed out at her, she struck back. She struck back again and again and again. When they came for her, her father was gone.
Wow.
And she was not herself. She was promptly cast into the downside for the crime, where her hatred for the Commonwealth only grew. Orisa always was intense in demeanor, haunted by her father's memory. More than that, her chief motive for wanting back her freedom was, in hindsight, not a healthy one. She longed to join our nation's enemies, to build for the High-Wing remnants a great siege engine that would shatter the defenses of the Commonwealth and forever end our feud. What she ultimately did to Orlek, it was an act of pure and thoughtless desperation. I do not think that it was simply evil, nor do I think that it was personal. I wonder often, though, if in her final moments in the Shimmer Pool, she understood what she had done, and the depths to which she had fallen. For years, I must admit I hated her, but now, my only hope is that she found a peace untenable during her relatively short life in the downside and the Commonwealth. Furthermore, I hope the life of Orisa offers some perspective yet to those of us who have not made the same mistakes. Now then, was there something else? Nope. You bid Wilfred a good afternoon, then leave him with his memories. My pleasure, reader. Reflecting on the past from time to time helps demonstrate how far we've come, yet how much further we have yet to go.
Dang, that's some heavy stuff.
Yeah. And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.